Your dog knows when you're sad, even when you don't cry, even when you smile, even when you say you're fine. But here's the real question: how do they know, and what is it doing to them when you feel that way? Because your sadness doesn't just stay with you, it changes your dog, and most owners have no idea it's happening. In this video, I'm going to show you how your dog detects your sadness, what happens inside their brain when you're emotionally low, and why their behavior shifts when you feel off. By the end of this video, you'll understand something most people completely miss. Your dog isn't just comforting you, they're responding to something much deeper, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Have you ever noticed this? You're sitting quietly, you're not dramatic, you're not loudly crying, you're just heavy, your shoulders drop, your breathing slows, your energy changes, and suddenly your dog is closer than usual, watching you. Maybe they rest their head on your leg, maybe they stare at your face, maybe they won't leave the room. That's not random. Dogs are experts at reading micro changes in your body, tiny signals most humans would never detect. Your breathing rhythm, the tension in your jaw, the way your eyes move, the speed of your walk. When you're sad, your body shifts, and your dog notices immediately, not because they're analyzing you consciously, but because they are wired to track you. Your body changes first before you even realize you're sad. Your nervous system changes, your heart rate shifts, your muscle tone softens, your posture collapses slightly, your voice becomes flatter or quieter, and your dog has spent thousands of hours studying your normal. They know your baseline. They know how you usually move, how you usually breathe, how you usually sound. So when something deviates from that baseline, they feel it instantly. It's like living with someone long enough to hear something is wrong in their voice. Except your dog does this without language, without analysis, pure instinct. Emotion has a scent. Now here's something even more powerful. Your sadness isn't just visible, it's chemical. When you feel stressed, anxious, or emotionally low, your body releases different hormones, cortisol rises, your sweat composition changes, your natural scent shifts subtly. Humans can't detect that. Dogs absolutely can. Their sense of smell is tens of thousands of times stronger than ours. To them, emotion has a scent profile. That means your sadness has a physical signature, and your dog is built to read it. They don't just see that something is off, they smell it. Emotional contagion. But this is where it gets deeper. When your dog senses your sadness, they don't just observe it, they often absorb it. There's a concept called emotional contagion. It means one individual's emotional state transfers to another. Studies have shown that dogs exposed to human crying display stress signals, elevated heart rate, alert posture, behavioral shifts, not confusion. Response. Your emotional state activates their nervous system, they mirror you. And this explains something many owners experience. When you're sad, your dog may become clingier, quieter, more watchful, more sensitive to movement. They aren't being dramatic, they are regulating, they are syncing. Why they stay close. Dogs are social mammals. In social species, emotional alignment is survival. If one member of a group is distressed, others respond. Ignoring emotional change could mean danger. So when your dog senses sadness, their system goes into monitoring mode. They become more aware, more attentive. They stay closer. They watch your face more often. They adjust their behavior because something in the environment, you, has shifted. This isn't pity, it's instinct. Does your sadness stress them? Now we get to the uncomfortable question. If your dog feels your sadness, does it hurt them? Sometimes, yes. If your sadness is intense and prolonged, it can increase your dog's stress levels. They may become more anxious, more attached, more reactive, because they are constantly syncing to your emotional state. But here's the important part. It's not just stress. It can also deepen the bond. When a dog experiences emotional alignment with you repeatedly, trust builds. They learn. When something changes in you, I respond. That shared regulation strengthens attachment. It's one of the reasons dogs and humans bond so deeply. Why some dogs react differently. Not all dogs respond the same way. Some become extra clingy. Some become calm and still. Some bring toys. Some create physical contact. Some even act slightly distant. Why? Because dogs have different attachment styles too. Some regulate through closeness. Others regulate through space. But the common thread is this: they notice. Every time. Your emotional shifts do not go unseen in your own home. What this really means. Here's the part most people miss. Your dog isn't just reacting to your tears. They're responding to your internal state. Before you speak, before you explain, before you even fully understand what you're feeling, they are already adjusting, already syncing, already reacting, which means something powerful. You are never emotionally invisible to your dog, and that connection, it goes both ways. Because in the next part, we're going to look at something even deeper. What happens inside your dog's brain when this emotional syncing happens, and how your mood can actually shape their long-term behavior. Once you understand that, you'll start seeing your daily interactions in a completely different way.
Why sadness feels different to your dog. Your dog doesn't just sense emotion, they categorize it. And sadness is not the same as stress, it's not the same as anger, and it's definitely not the same as fear. Sadness is slower, quieter, heavier, and that's exactly why it affects them differently. Because sadness changes your baseline. It doesn't spike, it lingers. And dogs are experts at detecting patterns over time, not just emotional explosions, but emotional climates. Your emotional baseline is their safety signal. Dogs constantly scan you, not consciously, but instinctively. Your posture, your breathing, your tone, your micro-expressions. They build a mental, normal version of you, your emotional baseline. And when that baseline shifts for days or weeks, they don't treat it as a moment, they treat it as a new reality. If you used to greet them energetically, but now your voice is softer. If you used to move quickly, but now your body feels heavier. If you used to make more eye contact, but now you look down more often, they notice. Not as judgment, but as data. And dogs respond to patterns. The chemistry behind it. When you feel sad for extended periods, your body chemistry changes. Lower dopamine, lower serotonin, higher cortisol over time. Your scent changes slightly. Your facial muscle tension changes. Your movement patterns slow down. And dogs rely heavily on scent and micro-movement. To them, sadness is not just emotional, it's biological. You literally smell different. You move different. You sound different. Which means in their world, something significant has shifted. Why some dogs become overprotective. Have you ever noticed this? When you're emotionally low, your dog becomes hyper-attached. They follow you from room to room. They sleep closer. They position themselves between you and strangers. That's not random. When your emotional state feels unstable, some dogs interpret it as vulnerability. And vulnerability triggers guarding instincts. Even in non-aggressive dogs, they're not protecting you from something specific. They're protecting you from uncertainty. Because uncertainty is what they feel radiating from you. Why some dogs mirror your low energy. Other dogs don't guard, they synchronize. If you move slower, they move slower. If you rest more, they rest more. If your tone softens, they soften. This is co-regulation. Dogs evolved to emotionally sync with their primary human. It's one of the reasons the bond feels so powerful. But here's the nuance. Short-term syncing is healthy. Long-term emotional flattening can dull them. A dog that was once highly playful might become slightly more passive. Not depressed, but dampened, because their emotional rhythm is tied to yours. The attachment factor. The stronger the attachment bond, the stronger the emotional influence. If you are your dog's primary attachment figure, your emotional shifts hit harder. In attachment psychology, secure bonds create deep regulation, but they also create deep sensitivity, which means your dog doesn't just live with you, they orient around you. You are their reference point. When your internal world changes, their orientation shifts too. The subtle behavioral changes. You might miss. This is where it gets interesting. Sometimes the changes are small. You might notice slight increase in alertness, more frequent checking in, extra eye contact, slower tail wag, quieter play, or the opposite. More demand barking, increased clinginess, separation anxiety spikes. None of these automatically mean something is wrong, but combined with prolonged emotional changes in you, they make sense. Dogs adapt to emotional climates, and long-term sadness creates a different climate than joy. The silent loyalty. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Dogs don't leave emotionally. They don't withdraw love. They stay, even when the emotional tone changes, even when your energy drops, even when routines shift. They stay. But staying doesn't mean unaffected. It means bonded. And bonded nervous systems influence each other. The turning point. Here's the empowering part. When you start regulating yourself, even slightly, they respond fast. If your voice becomes a little lighter, if your posture becomes a little more upright, if your walks become just a bit more intentional, they recalibrate. Dogs are incredibly adaptive. They don't cling to the past version of you, which means small improvements in your emotional stability have amplified effects on them. What this really says about your bond. If your dog reacts when you're sad, it's not weakness, it's connection. It means your emotional state matters in their world, and that kind of bond is rare, because not all relationships create emotional synchrony, but human-dog bonds often do, which is why they feel so profound. Your dog knows when you're sad. Not because they analyze it, not because they understand the story behind it, but because they feel the shift in you. And when you shift, they shift. So the next time you're feeling low and your dog stays close, understand this. They're not just witnessing your sadness. They're navigating it with you.